welcome to London.
Thank you very much.
It's so nice to have you here. You have just returned from the US. You were touring there, US and Canada. How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. There was Shankar Ehsan, lawyer, and
Yes.
myself.
Yeah.
This is actually the first real tour that we've done together. We've done 2 concerts in the past, but both were for promotions of films. So it really was amazing being on stage with them, touring with them, and then of course I've never been to Canada before to tour at least.
Okay.
So to play for audiences there was a lot of fun.
How lovely. And you're here to talk about your single, Rearview Mirror.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. It's your first English song, I believe.
English
written song.
It is, yes.
So tell us why you decided to do a song like this.
It's not really just about this one song. I think it's part of the just what the entire album means to me. The album's going to be out in January. It's called Echoes. It really, the last about 2.5 years of my life, it's quite a transitional period. And there was a lot going on inside. And I really felt the need to kind of share it, on some level with people who constantly kept asking, what's going on? Are you okay? You need to talk a little bit more often about what you're feeling.
Yeah.
I somehow not very comfortable with talking to people. I'm very happy to write stuff down. So I started writing these things down. They started taking the shape of songs, the shape of poetry. And then a part of me just really decided that it really is something that I want to share with the world. I think the reason for that is over the years, music has played a very important part in my own life. Of whether it's healing, whether it's acceptance, whether it's feeling like you're not alone in when you're feeling a certain way. And somehow I just felt that if this music can also do the same, for someone else, then that would be a beautiful thing.
That's so beautiful, that is. Now, you said this song is part of an album, Echoes. Yes. Tell us the vibe of the whole album itself.
It's alternate rock. It's got a very classical singer-songwriter kind of mood. It's acoustic for most of it. And Tommaso, who's a Grammy award-winning producer who came on board, he I think really understood the essence of what it is that I was trying to do, and he focused on the storytelling a lot more than wanting to make it musically too he didn't want the music to interfere with the storytelling. So he's really kind of supported the writing in an amazingly organic way. So I feel blessed and fortunate to have have collaborated with him on this album. It's alternate rock. It's got slight folksy elements, but it's very classic. Like singer-songwriters that you've heard. In the years that at least that we were growing up.
Yeah. And in terms of the music, let's talk about the music industry, especially like the Hindi music industry.
Right.
You have seen it grow, go through different phases, and I think we're going through a time where you're hearing so many old songs that are being remixed.
Right.
A lot of people have different opinions on that. What is your opinion on that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like at times they've been used effectively in certain films. And at times you can just feel that it's there because someone's trying to cash in on the success of something that had happened prior. I can only speak for my own instance. There's 3 times that we've used music from the past in our movies. One was in the Dawn films, but they were such an integral part of the original Dawn that it would have been incomplete not to have had them.
Exactly.
And the only other time we did it was when we did the In Rais, where we used the Leila Me Leila track. And that was again in the film. It was a hark back. It was the 80s in the film, so we needed a popular song from that time. That somebody in a bar would be kind of dancing to.
I really like that version, by the way.
Right. Thank you. So I feel that if you can use it and it fits into your film seamlessly,
right?
It's why not?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's now unfortunately becoming the thing where people are relying on it to kind of be the driving song in an album, so to speak, and that doesn't speak very highly of just creative ability today. And it's unfair because there are seriously talented musicians
So many. Oh
and
my
songwriters,
God.
and
Yeah.
unfortunately probably are not getting the opportunity to really just express themselves, the way they'd like to, and hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you think it's just a phase that this industry is going through at the moment?
Yeah, the industry keeps going through phases,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things trend and things then become old.
Yeah.
So I guess this is just a part of some cycle that's like kind of now everyone's doing it, and then people will just get bored of doing it and move on to something.
And move on.
Yeah, of course.
Farhan, you mentioned Don. It's of course been in the news for so many, so long now about the franchise, and the next one. Is it happening? Is it not? Are you able to tell us anything about that?
I really don't have an answer right now about that film. I keep getting asked about it, but I find it very. Every time I've said that, of course, it's a film that I would like to do. Of course, it's a story that I would like to somehow, in some manner, take forward. It always gets misconstrued to that I am doing it. And then I find that a bit unfair on the people who are really like kind of die-hard Don fans, because their expectations always like they go up and then suddenly they realize, oh, nothing's happening, and they're all deflated and they get sad. Some get very angry. So that happens. So I don't want to raise expectations. When there's something there, that I know is concrete and can be made, I'll share it with the world. It's not going to be a secret. I'll be the first person to be happily be shouting from the rooftops.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about India and let's talk about the change that it's going through at the moment. And I think especially in terms of films, the digital platform, you guys have, Excel Entertainment has done Inside Edge. How do you feel that it has changed over the years in terms of, first it was like films are being made, to like however many crore rupees or whatever, but now it's the digital platform that is really, really, really popular. Do you see it in any shape or form that the films could possibly die down and then the digital platform, because it's taking over so much?
Well, I think what is I don't think I find it difficult to imagine that people will stop going to theaters to watch movies, because there is something that is very special about a collective experience with strangers. That's the reason when you go for a concert, for example, there is something special about standing in with a crowd, and everybody's kind of connected to the same source. So there's something kind of ritualistic about it. There's something that kind of celebrates togetherness, community, and that feeling is a very special feeling. So I don't think that will go away. But of course, there is, especially in India, there's a huge amount of competition from the digital side, and that really comes in from the fact that we don't have that many theaters in the country, and currently there is no incentive to like really start kind of like building more, expanding those numbers, and that is something that's kind of dangerous for the film world. So if that changes, and if people can access theaters a lot more easily, like they can access digital content, then I don't see it as a danger at all. But the fact is, because there are fewer theaters, tickets get priced more, so it's not easy for families maybe to go in and watch every single film. So there are few films that do exceedingly well. There are some really good films that unfortunately don't do well, that people wait to come onto satellite or come onto digital, and they can watch it for much cheaper. So that will always be a bit of a problem as long as we don't have enough theaters that people can access. And creatively speaking, I think the digital platform, at least in India, given the current situation, allows you to tell different kinds of stories, than you get to say in film. You can be a lot more adventurous in the way you want to tell your story on a digital platform. So they can coexist, I think, very healthily. They can. But at the same time, I think the people who are making films specifically for a theatre going audience have to really kind of like now start thinking about how is it that we can make going to a theatre a more accessible experience, a slightly more economical experience, for people. Otherwise you're going to be in serious problem.
And do you find it hard to keep up with this change because it's so fast?
Well, it is really fast, but the thing is that you somehow have to keep reinventing yourself to be able to do it. So given the fact that we got into Inside Edge pretty much from the word go when Amazon came to India. It was their first show, out of India. So that's something we're trying our best to kind of stay current with changing technologies and changing tastes in content. There's that happening too. the whole demographic of India, I mean, in terms of what they're watching, the influences is constantly changing.
Very much.
You know, so how do we like kind of keep our finger on that pulse? It's always a challenge. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you completely miss the target. But I mean, you have to keep trying.
Lovely. And let's talk about your UK tour that is happening, your concert.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. When is it and what can we expect?
Well, it's in November. On the 2nd of November, it's in Leicester. And on the 4th of November, it's here in London at the O2 Indigo. And I'm just really excited. Every single musician that I know, you know, whoever has toured, has come to the UK and played here and has had a wonderful time. I mean, Indian music is very popular here, especially with the whole, you know, like all the NRIs and everybody who are here, the Desi crowd. So they all love the music. So I'm really looking forward to coming. It's been 5 years that I've been touring, and I've had this like kind of dream that I want to come here and play. I've been to Australia, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to the US twice. It's
but
just
it's just
time. Never. This UK trip has just never ever happened. So I'm very excited about finally
happening.
Finally coming here.
Finally, awesome, Farhan. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the best for everything that you've got coming up. Excellent entertainment. I hope it exceeds.
Thank you.